And so now, to finish, what does IIT say then about our place in nature? And why is that sort of relevant, finally, for mental health? I told you about Galileo and essentially all science since his time that takes this extrinsic view. Forget the subject, forget us, let's just study what's out there. And that was fantastically successful, no doubt. And so let's then say that we are not at the center of the universe, far from it. We are not creation's best product. We are just some product of chance and necessity, as I said at the beginning, and above all we are biological machines or, bad computers that can fail. Okay? Passengers going along for the ride. We can't really determine our fate, so to speak. And we're not even unique, because smarter beings than us will take over, or even if they don't take over, they will be better than we are. Now, if IT is right, and I definitely think it is, we go in the opposite direction. Let's start in the reverse order. It's exactly the other way around for all these points. It's almost hard to believe. It's exactly the other way around. I told you already, computers can be as smart as you want, but they will never amount to nothing, to anything. They really are just tools, as we think they are, and always did, rightly so. They are tools that do our bidding. They are not subjects, okay? They are dust. Sorry. And then, this is difficult to explain now, but every thought, every object in your mind, everything you see, everything you feel, is a giant structure that requires a very, very special substrate, as you only find at the moment in the back of our cerebral cortex. That's what it is. It takes that. Whether that is seeing a familiar face, or looking at the sunset, or just feeling the immensity of the mountain as much as it exists for us, because it only exists for us, it doesn't exist for itself, those are forms in the mind. They are not computational processes. And one fundamental consequence of this, again very relevant for mental health, is the following. It also follows that the moment we develop not only sufficient consciousness, but also, as we do, sufficient intelligence, so that we can reason, evaluate, and so on, every alternative is a form in the mind. Every choice is a choice in the mind. And we become the ones who actually can change who we are and what surrounds us. Something that I'm sure all of you, after all, believe, because we all know we can do that. But science is telling us the opposite to this day, that you are not really responsible. It's what's happening in your brain, what happened before. No, IT is right. We are 100% responsible once we get adult enough and we understand it is us who make choices. It is us who are responsible for those choices, and not our neurons on our brain. In fact, IT says only we exist, and not our brain. And finally, that the individual human consciousness, every individual human consciousness, is the greatest thing that ever was in the known universe. The not known universe I don't know about, but in the known universe, if you actually measure things properly by what exists intrinsically for itself, not what exists for somebody who is conscious, every conscious human being literally is by far the biggest thing there is, much bigger than stars. In fact, I want to give you this sense as a parting sort of message. You know, astronomers and astrophysicists, not that I have anything to complain about them, but they like to dazzle people with these astronomical numbers, okay? The number of galaxies, the number of stars, the numbers of atoms in the universe, which is this, the number of Planck volumes, the smallest pieces of the universe that you can find out. So these are huge numbers, unimaginably large numbers. We have estimated, based on what we think is the substance of consciousness, this phi structure that I briefly illustrate here, but is only sort of a visual aid, okay, is composed of these powers whose numbers are around this. So these numbers are truly unimaginable, and they dwarf anything in the universe, certainly the number of stars, okay? And if the theory is right, being you right now means that there is something that truly exists for itself, and it is that numerous and that rich and that unique. Okay? So I hope I can close with this quote of a great physicist, Erwin Schrödinger, who many years ago sort of intuited this. Okay, he was one of the creators of quantum mechanics. He intuited that if it weren't for us, that great universe with those beautiful stars and mountains that we see would be nothing at all. It would be a play before empty benches, and therefore, properly speaking, it wouldn't even exist. Thank you very much.